Welcome. This is Basic Spreadsheets using Microsoft Excel. Today we will cover the use of functions and formulas to calculate data. Sit back and relax, but feel free to take some notes as we go through this tutorial. And of course, feel free to review any parts that you may have missed or not understood. What is a function? A function is a formula used to calculate data within an Excel spreadsheet. Before we can begin to talk about functions, we first need an Excel spreadsheet with information in it. I'll go up to Window and choose another Excel book that I have open. This spreadsheet is set up with a title row of first name, last name, phone number, enrollment date, payment 1, date of payment 1, payment 2, date of payment 2, payment 3, and date of payment 3. Some information has already been added for me, such as the names of all the people, their phone numbers, which has been formatted to show a phone number, the enrollment date, which is formatted for an enrollment date. To see this formatting or to change it, I can select the entire row of cells, right-click on it, and go to Format Cells. You'll notice under the Number tab that Date has been selected, and this format for the date has been chosen. But under Payment, each of the numbers does not have a dollar sign. I would like it to be shown as currency. I'll select the entire column, right-click, go to Format, and change this to an accounting or currency number. 2 decimal places, click OK. I'll do the same for column H and column J where no numbers are yet been added. For column K, date of payment 3, I would like October 22nd to appear for each of the dates. There is a quick and simple way to add October 22nd to each of the cells. Select the first box, and in the corner you're going to see a small black box. Click on it and drag down. You'll notice that dates fill it up, but I do not want a series of dates. I simply want them to be all the 22nd of October. Down here, if I hit the drop down, I can choose how I want these cells to be filled. I simply want to copy the first cell, so I'll choose that, and they all say October 22nd. To complete my spreadsheet, I need to fill column J with these payments. I am now ready to start adding some functions to my spreadsheet. First thing I'm going to do is sort my data. Makes it easier to see what I'm looking at. Under Insert is Function. There are several different types of functions you can use. There's also a shortcut on the toolbar in the sign of a sigma. Hit the drop down and let's use the first one of Sum. Now you need to be careful. Whichever cell you have selected is where the function will be placed. I currently do not want Jane's last name to be equal sum, so I'm going to undo this, and I want my sum to be all of the payment 1. I'm going to select the cell beneath it, F13, hit the drop down under Functions, hit Sum. You'll notice that the cells directly above it have already been highlighted. If I do not want those cells, I can select cells I do want, or I do want all of those and all of them will be selected. You'll notice in the text box that F2 colon F12 represents cell F2 all the way down to cell F12. That's what the sum will be found of. Each function always begins with an equal sign and then has the type of function that it's looking for. This is a generic function. It's used for lots of things. When I hit enter, it will determine that $967.74 is the total of all of payment 1. I will continue to find the sum for each of the payments. Under column H, I will select the cell, go up to Functions, choose Sum. It tells me which cells are already selected, H2 to H12, hit enter. Payment 3, select the cell underneath it, go up to Function, choose Sum, J2 to J12, hit enter. Now, the sums will adapt as numbers are changed in them. For instance, this cell currently says 1 cent. If I change the amount to $10, you'll notice that the total will now say $1,037 when I hit enter. As you change the amounts in each payment cell, the totals will adjust to that amount. Now I'd like to find the sum for each of the people enrolled in the program, for payment 1, payment 2, and payment 3, and their total out to the side. To do this, I'll select the cell at the end, go up to Sum, and then select the first cell, hit comma, which allows me to select the second cell. I'll hit comma, and then I'll select the third cell. After I select the third cell, I can hit enter. What you need to notice is that each cell, the blue one, green, and purple, are set out to the side in blue, green, and purple to show that they're three separate numbers that will be added together to make this total. Hit enter, and $300 is shown out at the end. If I click on cell L2, up in the text box at the top, you'll see equals sum of F2, H2, and J2, which means it's adding the numbers in each of those cells. I would like this formula to be in each of these cells down below it. The small box in the corner of the cell, if I click on it, I can drag it down and it will copy the formula or function into all the other cells. Now they all say 300 because it just so happens that each of these numbers added together equals 300. I can prove to myself that that's true by clicking on the next cell down, and you'll see it's the sum of F3, H3, and J3. This cell does not add up because this person underpaid, and the cell right here, this person overpaid by 4 cents. This one overpaid by $10. You may notice that I've gone ahead and added some formatting to the cells to identify what each of my new numbers represents. Total payment for 1, payment 2 total, and payment 3 total. You'll notice now that I'm going to put in what our average payment was for each payment. I'm going to select the cell, go up to average, and you'll notice it pre-selects certain cells for me. I do not want this cell to be shown in with the total amount. I'm going to select the cells that I want, F2 to F12, it shows me here at the bottom, and then hit enter. $87.98 was my average payment. I'm going to continue to do the same for the other two payments. Now I would like to count the number of participants in this program. There are several ways you can do this. The simplest is to use count. Select the cell where you'd like the number to appear. Go up to Functions and select Count. This will count the number of cells that contain numbers. It currently is selecting cells C2 to C13. Since C13 is empty, it should not pose a problem, so we'll hit Enter. Now it shows that we have negative 11 people enrolled in this program. That possibly cannot be correct. So we'll select the cell, go to Format Cells, and find out how this cell is categorized. It's seen as a phone number. We'd simply like it to be a number with maybe no decimal places, and we'll click OK. So now it's just as 11. There's another way to do this when you don't have any numbers. Let's say we want to count the number of last names. There are no numbers here to be counted. What we want to use is a function called COUNTA. Type equals CONT A parentheses, and then select the cells that you want to count. B2 to B13. Hit enter, and it counts 11 cells that have text in them. That's simply what COUNTA does. It counts a number of empty cells. There was one empty cell, so it tells us that there are 11 that are filled. Two more functions that I would like to show you are maximum and minimum. For each payment, I would like to know what the maximum payment made was and the minimum payment. To do this, I will select the cells that I've created that correspond to this. Go up and choose Max. It's already selected me from F2 to F14. We only wanted to use to F12. So equals max the quantity of F2 to F12. I'll hit enter, and it tells me that $150 was my maximum payment. I now would like minimum. Let's try typing this one in. Equals min parentheses or quantity of F2 semicolon to F12. Hit enter, and it tells me that $33 was my smallest payment. Let's say I would like this information in these 4 cells to continue into the other 4 columns. I've selected the 4 cells that I want to copy. If I use the black box again in the corner of these 4 and drag it over to 2 cells, it will copy the information over, saying that $266.99 was my biggest payment over here, and 50 cents was my smallest payment. And if I drag it over one more time, it'll tell me that $188.50 was my largest payment over here, and $10.10 was my smallest payment. There is no way that I could show you all of the functions inside of Excel. But you can create your own formulas. Let's see how you can do this. Let me scroll over to column M. Each person inside of this program, or enrolled in my program, was supposed to pay $300 in 3 payments. Now you'll see that most of these people did this. I would like a formula that shows me how far off some of the people are from paying the full amount, either above or below this. Watch as I enter a formula that will show me this information. Equals 300 minus cell L2, hit enter, and this person is $0 off. I would like this formula to continue for each of the person enrolled. I'll select the black box in the corner and then drag it down. This person paid $300, they owe nothing. $300 nothing. This person has not paid $31.27. I owe this person 4 cents. I owe this person $10. What might be wise is to set up some conditional formatting . This conditional formatting shows me which have paid in full are in black with white font, which have underpaid are in red with white font, and which have overpaid are in green with black font.